when I got to New York, I realized that I had to figure out a lot. I was given resources by my mom because she had friends in the model industry. But when it came to the actual dance industry, I had to learn a lot and fight for some information on my own. And thank God, I'm so glad that I went to just figure out what meant the most to me. And when I went to Broadway Dance Center, that's when I would test out different teachers and what was working, what was the vibe, who likes me, who do I like, all the things. And once I found my people, and I really did find a group of people who just accepted me. I'm from Iowa. Everyone else is a lot more spice, and I have natural spice, but like I grew into my own. And when it fell into place, it wasn't just going to dance class. It was, okay, where are we going to eat? Okay, where are we going to go hang out? Okay, where are we going to go see the movie? Okay, where are we going to go put on a show? It became this thing that you just can't really leave each other, or you don't want to leave each other. And that was the life of a student. But when it came to the audition part, I was very much iced out. I was not booking anything. And I went through the process many times where I would get almost to the end, or maybe not even close to the end. And I had a lot of doubt. And there's two very pivotal moments that really said, okay, Tiana, is this what you want to do? And it was, I auditioned for Madonna's tour. I don't remember what it was, but I got to a point where it was her and Mia Michaels at the table. Yeah, girl, it was St. Patrick's Day. And I was like, Mommy, I've got this audition. I'm going to go dance in front of Madonna. I can't even believe it. Like, who says that? I'm from from Cedar Rapids, Iowa, and I'm going to go dance in front of Madonna and Mia Michaels, who at the time I didn't even know her greatness yet, because So You Think You Can Dance hadn't even started. But I'm in there, I'm doing my thing. I'm realizing there's a lot of like unique people with like cool hair, just like they have their individuality very prominent beyond their dance steps. And so I didn't make the cut. Go outside, it's St. Patrick's Day, the parade's going down. I'm like, Mommy, I didn't make the cut. Like, I'm crying. I'm just like trying to understand all these feelings. That was one thing. Then it fast forward to Michael Jackson. He's doing some kind of Madison Square Garden thing, and it's 17 dancers. I make it all the way down to 17 dancers. They're like, thank you so much. We only need 15. And me and another girl get cut. Again, go downstairs. I swear it's raining every time. And it's just, I'm crying. I'm devastated. I quit, Mommy. I quit. And thank God for the community of the people that I actually had, built in the student life. Because then we said, let's go to Carnival in Los Angeles to show what we're about. Because at that point too, you have to just take a chance on yourself. Things really don't move until you activate them. And I'm saying it now out loud, realizing I've kind of been doing this all my life. So then when I actually did go to LA, that there was a boost of confidence. There was something that just kind of gave me that, okay, there's another layer to this. But I tested New York out for, I don't know, like a year and a half. Britney Spears enters the scene of Tiana, at that point Brown. Not who she is today. Okay, so like I said, so me and my crew, right? I've got my people in New York City, and we said, let's go to Carnival in Los Angeles. And Carnival is a choreographer's ball where if you have a piece of work that you want to present at a club, you can. And so that's what people do. It's like once a month, and no one gets paid. This is all because the love of the art of dance. And you probably appreciate who that choreographer is, so you want to show up for them. And maybe it was like twice. I don't know. It's a little hazy that time in my life. But maybe I went there twice. But one of those times, Brian Friedman and Wade Robson were in the audience. And so they got to see me in an element where it wasn't an audition. It was just me having a good time with my people. And very close to that time that we were there, we got a call to audition for Britney Spears. I said, say less. Where do I go? How do I show up? I'm there. And I'm feeling the most confident. I also have 0 F's to give. I've been cut in New York. And I was like, I just got to go and try, because I have this thing in me that if I don't win, I got to figure out how to win. And that was happening in this moment. So I get to the audition. I also am confident because I'm standing with people who I love, right? We're in the thick of it, going to dance constantly, going to these classes constantly. And we audition. And I pulled out all the tricks that I possibly could, this little body. And I also felt really good. Britney Spears was not in the room, but what I do think that there was a window at the back of the room, and that was beyond my actual understanding of it all. She could have been watching from the perch, but I know I was in front of Madonna because Madonna was sitting there. So I would have remembered if Britney was standing there too. You don't find out that you're actually making the cut or not. You go home, you say, okay, they say, like, thank you. And it was a flood of people, like hundreds and hundreds. This used to be called the Dome. And it was, you'd have them sit at the table. It was, I can't even explain it because it doesn't even exist anymore. But it was a time. It was a time that if you were in the room, you were in the room. The room now is internet. That was the room, right? So I was in the room. Get to New York. We're like, okay, let's go pack our bags. Let's go back to New York City. Fast forward, we're in dance class, and my friend gets a call, and he's like, I got it. I said, what'd you get? He's like, I got Britney Spears' Slave for You music video and VMAs. And I was like, oh my gosh, yes, yes, yes. I was so happy for him. And I tell you, it was like genuine joy. It wasn't like, oh, I wish I got, I didn't even think about myself. I was so happy that just one of us got in. We broke through, we made it. And then shortly after that, I get the call. And I thought, oh my God, Jesus is showing off. Like, what is happening? And so we got the call for that. Our other friend got a call that he then was going to dance for Missy Elliott. So now all of us are about to perform at the VMAs. So I fly back to LA. I have no place to stay but my friend's couch. And I'm just, you're like the coolest thing ever and you have no money. It's great. And I'm in these rehearsals. We're doing the thing and she's chill. Everyone's chill. Everyone's just hanging. No ego. We're all smoking cigarettes. Probably shouldn't be doing that. It was just, the time. And so we say, okay, you're going to be in the video and the actual performance, but the performance is in New York. So then I was like, oh my gosh, we get to go back to my hood, but I just got there, whatever. But I do know my way around. So I had so much fun going back to then the VMAs. I remember standing in the circle for the prayer and was holding her hand. And I just thought, oh my gosh, this is what I've dreamt of. This moment right here. And then performing at the VMAs where it's that one stage and the snake is above my head. I said, I don't want to dance with snakes. And of course I'm in this one performance that has a cobra and a tiger in the back. Like, it was the most wildest thing. We're a total jungle. And it's just, I thank God that there's proof that it happened because I would have forgotten all of it. Like, I watch it and I remember every second of it. And that was my breakthrough job, was with her, the queen of pop. And I was just like, well, if I can do this, I'm going to move to LA. And that's how it happened. The challenge of being a professional dancer for these pop stars, right? So from Britney Spears to then Christina Aguilera, then to Christina Milian, and many, many more, from Toni Braxton to Fergie, Black Eyed Peas. Like, I really was at the peak of that moment of music and dance and performance. But what we don't learn is, one, how to manage your money, how to manage your mindset, which I do believe has changed. I do think that the industry is now helping people grasp that. But when you're on tour, you're living a fantasy lifestyle, right? You're in this tour bus, you're going to be on a stage, then you come home, you go hang out, and you're just like going from city to city to city. You're spending your money, you're doing your thing, and then you come back and then you have to remind people that you're available. You have to remind people that you want to continue this life. And that's like a ground zero hustle again. And the grind is, I was very fortunate that wasn't my story all the time. And I was really fortunate that I could have these incredible experiences from the stages that Britney was offered, the stages that Christina was offered, and Christina Milian, like even her situation, we were in Japan and Tokyo, and it was me and my best friends. Like, we toured the world together. And I think that was exchanged for the people that I met in New York, then shifted to this like girl group that I loved, and we bonded, and we were, we cared for each other, and we had the best time and laughed on stage, off stage. And I wouldn't exchange any of that. But I do think that the pitfalls of where that does happen is that you become unrelatable to people who are not on the road. You become unrelatable, and you're skew of life, your perspective on what reality is shifts. So to come back and get in full alignment, it takes work. It takes internal work. And as you grow and mature in life and in your 20s, well, I'm going to speak for myself. I thought I knew a lot. I thought I had it all figured out, but the reality is you're just flying by the seat of your pants and working with what you have, not actually moving the needle forward to a destination. And once I realized that I wanted more, that's when something was starting to shift for me internally. To maintain my physique, because that is my tool, that's not my computer, my body was my tool. And I found ways to maintain my physique, whether it was like through, what is it called? Ballet bar, something. It's on Riverside. I don't know what it is, but I would take these bar classes. I would take boxing classes. I would be in the gym. But that's also self-discipline. And I think what I love so much about dancers is that you are ingrained to have discipline because of the things that are needed for you to be great, to be a performer, to execute under pressure. And when I was off stage, then I would also have to keep that up so that I could get the next job. But that if I didn't, and I would gain weight or I would fall off the center, I wasn't booking. Like really in hindsight. So you really you got to stay on track and you have to be as best presented as possible because the reality is this is a very, it's visual. It's a visual thing. And that doesn't necessarily mean you have to be like tip top shape. You just have to be prepared mentally and physically for what the job requires. And I would love to say that I had a great diet, but the reality is no. I just drank a lot of Red Bulls and ate when I wanted to. And unfortunately, I can't say that I had some kind of perfect regimen. I just knew to always stay physical. The pop stars that I was around, if they had a regimen, it wasn't something they shared. It wasn't something they were like, "Oh yeah, you should do this. This is what helps this." Like when I tell you there's some gatekeeping in this industry, there's some gatekeeping, okay? And so that's why I've shifted to where I am now. But I will say, it was more so like, what are the other dancers doing? What are the choreographers doing? That's what helped me kind of understand how to maintain this type of lifestyle. Favorite memories from my dancing career. I remember honestly, I think one of my favorite moments was Christina Aguilera when we went to the Olympics and we were in Utah and we were the closing ceremony for that. It was the first time in my whole life I really understood altitude. I was like, I can't breathe. It was so high in the mountains that I realized I had to that's when I knew I needed to take care of my vessel because you never know where you're going to be on stage. You never know what the conditions are going to be. And in that case, it was really, really, really difficult. And it was freezing. So it was freezing cold. It was high on up. But that's not why it was special. It was special because I shared the stage with people that I admire. So there's Mel Benz, who was an incredible dancer. There was this woman named Lena Blake. She was fantastic. I believe I was up there with Gilbert Saldivar, Robert Vincent, who was on the Velvet Rope tour. So when I started getting in these circles of people who I would see on the VMAs when I was in Iowa, or if I saw on HBO, and I'm like, I'm on the stage with these people. And I no disrespect to the fact that yes, it was Christina Aguilera, but those were the people I was putting on a pedestal that I didn't realize until I was there that I was like, oh my gosh. But it was also Tina Landon who booked me on that job, who we all know is the choreographer for Janet and all of her greatness. That solidified once again to me that I was where I belonged and all the dreams that I had as a kid meant something. It wasn't for a whimsical fly by the pie kind of thought. It was like, no, those were planted in me to remind me that this is your destiny and that's good. So then it was just like confirmation for me.